One day, I received a call that my husband had been in an accident. The real shock wasn't just the accident itself but the revelation that his mistress had been in the car with him. She didn't survive, and my husband was left paralyzed from the waist down. In the midst of this turmoil, he began insisting that I care for him for the rest of his life. Was I really expected to dedicate my life to looking after a man who had been unfaithful and had caused this accident? This situation felt unreal. I knew I had to take control. My name is Mandy, and I'm 32 years old. I live with my husband, Ray, and our daughter, Lily, who's almost 5. After taking a break from work during my pregnancy, I returned to my job when Lily started daycare. Balancing work and raising a child keeps me busy, but it's a fulfilling life. Thanks to Ray, he's always worked hard and taken excellent care of Lily. As a husband, father, and head of our household, he's always given his best. Our evenings usually consist of dinner and listening to Lily's stories once Ray gets home from work. Hey, Daddy, look, I drew a picture at daycare today. Did you? You're so good at drawing, Lily. Maybe you can draw a picture of me next time. Sure. And Mary told me her family went to the amusement park today. I want to go too. An amusement park, huh? How about we all go next weekend? Really? Yay, I love you, Daddy. I love you too, Lily, but of course, after your mom. Ray would wink at me, and Lily would puff out her cheeks, pretending to be annoyed. These simple, happy moments with my family are my greatest joy. But recently, Ray started changing. He began coming home late and leaving early on his days off. At first, I thought it was just a phase, but as it became more frequent, my concern grew, and I decided to address it. Ray, you've been coming home late a lot lately. Is work really that busy? Huh, oh, yeah, I've been swamped with new projects. I see, but you're also leaving early on your days off, and you never tell me where you're going. Well, I've been visiting my parents. I figured I should check on them from time to time. Your parents' house, we see them every few months, and they're fine. So why the sudden frequent visits? I was wary but didn't want to press too hard, so I left it at that for the moment. 2 weeks later, Ray texted me, I'll be home late, overtime work. He didn't get home until after midnight. When he arrived, he seemed unusually upbeat, but there was something off about him that I couldn't ignore. Ray, where have you been? I told you I had to work late, didn't I? But what about that smell? What smell? The scent of sweet perfume. It's clearly a woman's fragrance. Why would you smell like that if you were working late? That's. Ray's eyes darted nervously, betraying his discomfort. Before I could press him further, he quickly interjected. Actually, there was a client entertainment event today. A client event? Ray nodded vigorously. One of the VIPs at the client's place is a woman. You'd expect some perfume to linger if we were drinking together. So why did you lie about working late from the beginning? There was no need to fabricate a story about overtime. I felt guilty because you were working hard at home, taking care of housework and Lily. I didn't want to add to your stress. I didn't mean to lie. Seeing Ray's hands nervously clasped in front of his face, I decided not to press him any further. Since I had work the next day, I chose to let it go and went to bed. However, every time Ray came home late, I noticed the same perfume on him. When I asked, he always claimed it was from another client event. My suspicions only grew stronger. One day, feeling that something was definitely off, I left Lily with my parents and met up with my younger sister. After we settled at a cafe, I shared my concerns about Ray's behavior. Ray has been coming home late a lot recently. So you're saying he always has a woman's perfume on him? Yeah, it's clear he's cheating. Really? My sister's serious nod confirmed my growing suspicion, although I had my own doubts. Hearing it from someone else made me more convinced. So Ray is really cheating on me? Firstly, it's odd to have client events with the same client so frequently. Plus, he must have been close enough for the perfume to stick, right? I guess so. I know it's tough with Lily and everything, but you need to have a serious talk with Ray. Yeah. Just then, my sister said with a disturbing tone, Hey, look over there. What's going on? Speak of the devil, that's your husband over there. Following her gaze, I saw Ray standing next to a young woman, who was clinging to his arm. The sight was so painful that I was left speechless. Ignoring my shock, my sister started taking pictures of them with her smartphone. Wait, what are you doing? What am I doing? Just standing there, sis, we need to gather evidence. But, No buts. Hurry up. I'll take the pictures. You start recording a video. Urged by my sister, I fumbled with my smartphone, my hands shaking as I activated the camera. Ray and the woman got into his car, arm in arm, sharing multiple kisses. I recorded the whole scene, stopping only when their car finally drove off. Here I was, Ray's wife, now holding undeniable proof of his betrayal. Tears began streaming down my face as I realized we were still in the cafe. My sister, who had been silent, took my hand and said firmly, "Sis, I know it's hard, but you need to have a serious talk with Ray." I know, but this is for Lily's sake too. Can we really just stand by while a man who lies and cheats continues to be her father? For Lily's sake. Her words snapped me back to reality. That's right, I'm the only one who can protect Lily. Ray might be her father, but I need to face this now. Knowing what he's done, he doesn't deserve to be her father anymore. After discussing it with my sister, we decided to have Lily stay at our parents' house for the day. I returned home and waited for Ray, but he didn't come back no matter how long I waited. Around 10 p.m., our rarely used landline rang. Who could this be at this hour? I wondered as I answered the phone. A man's voice came through. Is this Mrs. Johnson's residence? Yes, it is. Who am I speaking with? This is the police. Is this Mr. Ray Johnson's residence? Yes, it is. Please remain calm. Your husband has been involved in an accident. What? The police informed me that my husband had been in a car accident, and a woman in the passenger seat had died. They told me he had been taken to the nearby university hospital. I rushed to the hospital without even grabbing a bag. At the university hospital, my husband was in surgery in the emergency room. A police officer who had come to provide details of the accident spoke to me. From the circumstances, it seems your husband and the deceased woman were in a close relationship. Is that so? Noticing my stunned reaction, the officer asked, "Did you have any suspicions?" Yes, I was about to confront him with evidence of his affair today. I understand. I should tell you that there's a chance your husband might be left with some disability as a result of the accident. That's enough. Just enough. The officer revealed that the woman involved in the accident was also married. Her husband, who had arrived at the hospital, appeared utterly disoriented and his distress was palpable, with Ray being the sole survivor. A few days later, after his surgery, he finally regained consciousness. My parents, sister, daughter, and I went to the hospital to see him. I left Lily with my sister and entered the hospital room with only my parents. My in-laws were already there. It seemed my husband had been left paralyzed on one side of his body from the accident. "I'm sorry for causing all this trouble," Ray said remorsefully when he saw us. Before I could reply, my in-laws rushed to his bedside. "What are you apologizing for? It's enough that you're alive. Surviving is like winning the lottery." "That's right, Ray, you're usually a good man, and that's why you survived." "Thank you, Mom and Dad. I'm really glad I'm alive," Ray said, seemingly oblivious to the affair. Seeing my in-laws' reaction, my concern turned to anger, and I finally spoke up. "Sorry to interrupt your celebration, but Ray, will you divorce me?" "What? I have divorce papers here, please sign them." "Divorce? What are you talking about?" "An accident with your mistress is what I'm talking about." "No, you're mistaken. The woman in the car with me was just a business associate, not a mistress." Ray's desperate lies only fueled my frustration. Did he really think he could deceive me? I decided to confront him directly. "Are you really going to play dumb now? I know the truth. Ray, I saw you at the cafe with your mistress the day of the accident." "No, I swear I didn't cheat." "Then explain why I saw you getting into the car with her." "No, that's not." "Don't make excuses." I had forgotten I was in a hospital room and raised my voice. "You even cut back on time with Lily to spend with your mistress. What on earth were you thinking?" My mother-in-law interjected, frowning. "Oh dear, Mandy, why are you so angry? If Ray cheated, it must be because you did something wrong." "What are you talking about, mother-in-law? Ray's just regained consciousness, right? And you've heard from the doctor that he's now left with hemiplegia. What does that have to do with our divorce? He'll need your full-time care from now on. If you have time to talk about divorce, you should be focusing on caregiving training." "That's right," Ray chimed in, echoing his mother. "You'll be taking care of me now, as my wife." At that moment, any sympathy I had for Ray vanished. I had felt some pity for him after the accident, despite his infidelity, but now I was beyond caring. They showed no remorse for what they had done to me, all they cared about was themselves. Suppressing my rage, I faced my mother-in-law. Are you serious? Who would want to take care of a cheating fool? Fool, Mandy, how dare you insult my Ray? Well, it's the truth, isn't it? He cheated, which led to this accident. It's all his fault, but even if the accident was his fault, the cheating is because of him. If I did something wrong, does that justify his cheating? I was working hard, balancing work, childcare, and housework. You say it's my fault, but you're defending your cheating son. That's... My unusually assertive tone made my mother-in-law's voice trail off. Ray, unable to stay silent, shouted, "How dare you speak to my mom like that?" Perhaps he thought his status as a patient made him untouchable, and he glared at me with indignation. I moved closer, glaring down at him, and he muttered, "What the?" in a fearful tone. "Cut the nonsense. Who do you think is responsible for this mess?" "Well, that is. The reason we're in this mess is that you betrayed our family. You got into an accident with your mistress. You must be a complete idiot." "What the?" "It's all messy now because you suddenly brought up divorce." He still didn't seem to grasp the gravity of his actions. Filled with disgust and bitterness, I lashed out. "Grow up. How long are you going to blame everyone else? Think about it, you're the one who cheated, and now your mistress is dead. Stop trying to justify yourself." Mandy. You've destroyed our family with your thoughtless affair. I don't know how much pain Lily will endure because of you. You've hurt me and trampled on our daughter's heart. I can't stay married to someone like you. Just go on and deal with your own mess." As I walked away, Ray sat there, speechless and pale. I paused to catch my breath when the hospital room door opened, and Lily walked in. "Lily, how did you?" "I'm sorry, sis." I looked away for just a moment. My younger sister followed Lily into the room, apologizing. Seeing Lily, Ray eagerly reached out to her. "Lily, you wouldn't want..." "Daddy, what? You don't want Mommy and Daddy to be apart?" Lily pondered for a moment before saying, "If Mommy's here, I'm okay." I was stunned. "What?" "Because Mommy looks sad when she's with Daddy. That's because Daddy's doing something that Mommy hates, right?" "Well, that's... I don't want the daddy who makes Mommy sad. I don't need a daddy. I'm happy with just Mommy." Ray looked shocked and speechless. Defeated, he slumped onto the bed. I handed him the divorce papers again, and this time, he signed them without protest. I then hired a lawyer and pursued alimony and child support, using the evidence of his infidelity. Additionally, the husband of his mistress demanded damages, further increasing the financial burden on Ray. Ray's affair was exposed at his company, where he was dismissed from his position. The fallout, including the loss of his mistress's life, was harsh retribution. The financial strain from the damages drained Ray's savings, forcing him to move into a small apartment with his in-laws after selling his house. I heard that his in-laws are now caring for their son daily, as he is wheelchair-bound. As for me, I've decided to stay at my parents' house with Lily for a while. Once we are settled, I plan to find a place for just the two of us. For now, it seemed better for Lily's well-being to be surrounded by family. On our way to daycare, I asked her about something that had been on my mind. "Hey, Lily, are you really okay?" "Huh, with what?" "With Daddy not being here. Are you okay with just Mommy and you?" Lily smiled brightly and cheerfully said, "I love Mommy the most. I don't like anyone who makes Mommy sad." "I see, Mommy loves Lily too." Lily hugged me tightly, and I held her close, determined to protect her for the rest of my life.